Welcome to our Open Power Academy and Research webinar. Thanks for joining today webinar and my pleasure to have you all here. Today session is on IBM Power9 systems AI solution helping bank to clear checks faster. So far we had many webinars where not there are a lot of technical discussions on AI, but this is one of the real AI implementation in Indian banks, and this kind of things going to come in going forward. And the solution which we are talking about here is actually using Power9 Linux plus GPU servers with PowerAI to speed up the training and inferencing on MLDL workloads. The IBM Power Server has unique hardware capabilities, as you all aware. Most of the people who have attended previously the webinars, would have known all the details about NVLink and the GPU stuff. And also we have given a lot of access to those system also for the people. And to this stack particularly achieving more than um, you know 5x performance, and also the training time is reduced very well. And we have presenter from one of our business partner, Dikshit Marla, developing the Arya.ai, a platform for quickly building neural networks and applying state-of-the-art deep learning models to new and exciting problems. I welcome Dikshit Marla for coming forward and giving a presentation to this audience, and also the Open Power, the community. Dikshit, please start your presentation.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ganesh. Thanks a lot for welcoming me. Before starting, I just wanted to add, I also have my colleague Deepak Lab, who is the head of banking products and everything. So he looks after the banking products. So yeah. So also, I thank everyone to attending this particular session, and also good morning and good evening for all the Eastern and then Western people. Good morning, and also thanks a lot, Abhinandan and Arya Das, being a panelist besides me. So, yeah, I'll start with my presentation. Hope my presentation is visible to everyone. So Arya.ai, just wanted to give you a small introduction about our company first. So basically, we are a company who develop plug and usable kind of a platform to automate or augment the major operations which are happening in BFSI sector. So BFSI, banks and financial institutions, and also insurance companies. So we started this company in 2013 by me and my colleague Vinay Kumar in IIT Bombay. We both are from IIT Bombay in late 2013, like around November, December in 2013. So it's almost like 7 years now. Yeah. So post that, our initial thought process was, as we being the researchers from IIT Bombay, we wanted to help or wanted to fasten our research process. So that's something where we built first research assistant. Probably many people call it as a kind of a bot, but we do not call it as a bot, because this is something where we build such a way, such a kind of a semantic based research engines or something similar to that. Like probably when you start talking about water related stuff, and even somewhere the research paper is all about the kind of a chemical reactions about any other calciums or something like that. So like CaCO3 or something, and some research paper talks about calcium and related stuff. So all those things are all related, and that's where the semantic search engine comes into picture and gives a retriever for that too. So that was the first product for us, and then moving forward, as we had some kind of a difficulty into monetize it, because it's all about research. So that's exactly where we wanted to take the technology to broader fields, rather than just sticking to that particular research papers itself. So that's exactly where we started intaking most of the other related problems. That's where we started presenting to the industries, to mainly to in the conferences, etc. So these are a few of the conferences we presented earlier, and that's where we got a traction. And then first use case is what we started talking to the banks and then financial services and insurance companies. So this was the first use case for us. This was started with Axis Bank initially in 2016-17. So what was the first particular product where we deployed in 2016 17 actually, this particular product in Axis Bank. I'll go forward about the product in details. So these are some of the accolades which we have received. Me and my co-founder were also named in Forbes 30 under 30 Asia, and then we also got AI Game Changer Award for this particular product also. So yeah, going to the main stack of the particular product what we develop. So we are majorly into, as I said, BFSI. So we have multiple products in banks and also in insurance sector or verticals. So majorly in banking, one is about the check, which we're gonna detailedly discuss, and other is all about the risk related stuff, and also other part is about non-banking NBFCs or kind of a lending related products. So other sector is all about insurance companies. Of course, everything is kind of a deep learning based problems itself. So majorly in insurance and banking is what we are trying to automate the major operations. Like in insurance companies, again, we automate the underwriting for term insurance or life underwriting processes, and also some other processes like health claims processing, which we have done for most of the insurance companies in India. So again, banking, the same thing. So overall, we develop tools, and then we combine those things and make it a product. So whatever the tools might be, kind of an API, something like signature matching is one particular module, and then all these modules to get good together, we make it as a product. So we'll definitely get into more details of the particular product of automated check processing. So as many people are aware how we do the check processing, right? Like when customer walks into a particular bank and then he submits a particular check, then the bank will receive it and then sees the all the validations, and then once the validations are clear from the particular bank, and then they scan that particular check and then sends it to the clearing hub. Before that, there is something called a centralized organization, which is NPCI in India, which process all the particular checks and then sends it to the corresponding checks for the clearing part. So that's where the whole process starts. So when NPCI sends to the corresponding bank, right? When I'm say, giving a check of one particular bank, let's take an example of X bank, and submits in a Y bank. Y bank will scan the my X bank check and sends it to the NPCI. NPCI will collect all the X bank's checks and at the end of the day sends it to particular X bank for the clearing part. This happens at the night period because all the banks collect all the night and then starts processing it. So the major problems over here are it's all manually driven. Definitely it's a slower process because at the end of the day they get around an average of around 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs checks per day, uh, in India at least. So definitely manual guy has to perform all these particular operations of clearing the check within a given set of time, because in the morning they have to submit the whole audits to the NPCI again, because the clearing has to happen in the night period itself. So there's a time crunch happening here. That's exactly why the manual people will have an issue to process or have a, kind of a pressure to process it, and definitely it's a monotonous work, and a lot of errors are prone to happen. So this is how exactly the check will look like normally, with a lot of stamps and a lot of unrelated information. So for us as a clearing processing thing, we need to focus on majorly six aspects of the particular check here. One is date, other is amount, which is amount in words and also amount in figures, and then MICR, which is totally below part, which is digitally printed information, which is kind of a check number also. And also the other part, major part, is about signature. So these are the major problems what we have to solve. These are segregated into one digitized information which is printed on the check. The other is freely handwritten information, which is both day, which is all three signature, sorry, date, amounts, both amount in words and figures, and then altogether signature is all different aspect of trying to figure out the patterns in that. So for this we use CNNs. So that's how we train the system on. So I'm pretty sure everyone understands how the deep learning the training process happen. We collect all the historical information of the check, and then we also take the true values of the particular check. then we both collect all the information. Like for a date, we take a check of then we take a snippet of the particular check. Like right now it's a big image, right? Then we take a cutout of the particular ROI, and then take a snippet and then pass a true value to the system again. So it's like a 130513 here. Then we give the true value to the system. The same thing happens for all the particulars, like amount in words and amount in figures. But for signature, we try to take the signature from the check, and also the true value would be account holder signature from the core banking system. So because we need to match with the core banking system itself, right? When the real time processing happens. So normally we take around 5 to 6 lakhs of checks. Initially when we started working around this, we took around 500k to 600k thousand checks to process or to train the models. So overall, basically for we took amount in words, we took around 10 lakhs also over a period of time. But overall, at an average, we took around 3 lakhs for amount in figures and date. That's for the whole period. I took it an average of 6 lakhs is what overall combined. So then the inference, it can be kind of another bank check or anything. Then it start processing it. So the process I'll try to explain, where we get a check image, and then Arya system will start processing. One is about removing this noise filter. Like there are lots of stamps and unwanted information which we are discussing about, while in the scanning process also there might be a lot of noise, a lot of things. That's where we have to remove the noise part and then enhance the particular six parameters which we are discussing to extract the information out of it. That's the kind of a enhancing or denoising part will take care, and then taking a snapshots of, sorry, taking a snippets of each and every particular parameters. So overall there are six particular things. We try to segregate that to all the different models. So different models will start giving the results, and then post that results, we also have a kind of a rule based engine or a business rules. Like if at all the date is something like 16 December 2020, there's no point of just randomly giving the date to a user saying this is 16 December 2020 or 16/1 to 2020. So here we also put up a lot of business rules saying that whether this particular check is valid check or not. The validity is all about 90 days for business rules as per Indian banking requirements. So if the validity is lying between 90 days from the date of issuance and the date of kind of a last issuance, then that's a valid check. Post that, again there are some other rules for amount also. Like when I'm saying amount also be valid, so amount in words and amount in figures both has to be valid. I mean both have to be perfectly written, and also both have to be matched. And then there is another parameter which we have to also match, where the presenting bank will also give its value while sending it to the NPCI or giving it to the operations bank. So that also has to be matched. So there are three particulars has to be matched over here: amount in words, amount in figures, and then the presenting bank information. The other part is about MICR, which we just have to extract, and then MICR also will be given by the presenting bank. So those two has to be matched, and then the other part is about signature. So signature, the business rules over here are little different. So we use the concepts of confidence scores here. When I'm saying that signature is matching with the core banking signature of that particular account holder around 80% confident, then we can put up a lots of business rules over here with respect to amounts. When I because it's all related to risk, right? When I say that the value of the check is around 2000 rupees, and then I can take a risk over here because there's no big risk. So even if the system says 75% confident, then I can put up a rule that okay, for the checks below 2000 rupees or less, and the confidence score is around 75, then or less than 75 or less than 80, then pass it, then automate it. Or if it is something less than that, then probably send it to manual. So for all the higher value checks, That's exactly where we say that 95% is something mandatory to pass the check or to automate, or probably if that is not falling in that particular bucket, then send it to the manual operations guy. So this is how exactly the overall data flow looks like. So I got a question. How do you check mismatch signatures? Yeah, I'll definitely get into that particular part right now. So okay, just to answer you, how do you check the mismatch signatures? So basically, when I get a check, right, when I get a signature, I try to take out the signature from particular check. Then also I try to compare with the particular account holder signature in the particular bank. So Dr. Tipesh Swami, I'll just answer your question in detail when I go to this particular flow. Just give me a minute or two. I'll explain over here. So when I get particular, this is where the whole inward checking process starts. So NPCI, which I said, the governing body, which transfers all the corresponding checks to each and every particular checks. How to check thumb impression? So thumb impression, Shailesh Shekhar has asked a new question: how to check the thumb impression? So normally thumb impression is not a validity for any particular checks. So this was there earlier in kind of 15 years back, but with the latest regulations, thumb impressions are not a kind of an authentication to process a check. Only the signature is the mandatory to process a check. So yeah, the data flow. This is a particular first part is called CTS processing, where we download the checks from the NPCI SFTP folder, and then every folder has a batch files. A batch file contains of 250 check images. So all these 250 check images also has a lot of corresponding XML files. Like kind of a one check has an XML file record saying this is the MICR particular check, and then the check amount is so and so. So let's take an example like one.jpg is one particular check, and then one.xml also has all the records of particular one.jpg like MICR and then amount value and the date value, date of presenting also. So these are the two things where we extract the particular MICR code from the check, and then we also take out the NPCI XML file to match whether the both the check and the XML records are same or not. Once these two are matched, then we send it to the Arya core engine to the cleaning process. As we discussed earlier, that the cleaning is the first denoising part which we done. Then post that we send it to each and every corresponding model, the snippets. So each and every model gives out. So now when we get a result, right, first we try to take out the account number. So with this account number we hit on to the core banking of that particular account holder to retrieve the signature. So the first step is try to extract the account number from the particular check, or try to take out the account number from the CTS information itself. Then with this particular account number, hit on with the API with the core banking system, then extract or retrieve the signature which is there in core banking system. So that our signature verification process also starts, which is parallel what we try to extract from the check. So this is where it happened. So as I was talking about both matching and not matching, right, so we put up a conference score saying that these two are matched. That's where we say both are accepted. When these two are not matched, we also get a rejection conference score. As we get a accepted match conference score, we get a rejection conference score also with the negation of that. So that's where we also map it, whether that's where we say whether the signatures are matching or not matching. So for matching, we put up again a conference score saying this is something where we have to cross the threshold to match as per the account, as per the amount. For rejection also, if it is just say that beyond 50% of the rejection, then we just say it is rejected, so send it to the manual person or the manual operations. So as we discussed, business rule engine will do all the business operations like date, validity, and all the other part. So recently we also got this positive pay verification. I think with January 1st we are able to start that process also, where we also get particular information from the customer. That's where we also map it, like pay name and all the other part also. So then we send you to the results. So the results part, whether we can even send it to the REST API to the existing application, or we also have developed our own particular dashboard. We get into the dashboard. Before that, we want to discuss more about the advantages of how we develop this particular solution on IBM. So IBM have a lot of so basically we run this on AC 922 servers. So majorly one of the advantage of this particular thing is the kind of a faster processing. AC922 has four GPU cards of V100s. So the main advantage what we have seen it is with the NVLink, because the transfer of the larger data is very very high. It's almost like kind of a 80 gigabytes per second, which is almost like kind of a more than at least 5 to 6 times of the normal speeds. And then this is the only particular server which has the kind of technology of NVLink. So there are many more points to discuss, and also we have seen the kind of a comparison with what we have tried it up on normal Xeon servers versus Power 92, where with Power 9 server we got around 50 minutes of a kind of a training time, and whereas for normal Intel based servers we got around 3 to 3.5 hours of time. So moving on, probably where we also wanted to make sure that rather than showing it only on the particular internal application, we wanted to build the full-fledged dashboard also, so that the whole operations can be happening over this particular thing. So we only spoke about automation till now because all the parameters are right. What if one parameter might be wrong? So that's where we get into more detail, because our ultimate aim is to augment and also automate, right? Because the whole operations time is very crucial for us. So that's very very important for us here. So this particular dashboard gives you the overview of particular STP, which is straight through process, and also non-straight through process, which is NSTP. So when I mean a straight through process, all the parameters are perfectly matched, and within the conference score what we have set, that's where we say straight through process. Then non-straight through process, one or more parameter which is not falling in particular category. So there probably rather just saying that I'm my particular just send it to the manual. We wanted to make sure that only the operations guy can focus only on that particular parameter. Like if you see the screen right now, the top view is all about the check, and then the below part is all about the particular parameters of that particular module, particular parameters. So now here the account number is something which we are not able to extract, is something where we highlight it in different color, so that the operation guy can actually only look at that and just correct, because the rest of the particular fields right are all right. Rather sending it to a manual guy to spend all the six parameters time, so we just don't want to do that. We made sure that only the different color highlighting would give him to process it. So all the other information about the account holder is being displayed from the other APIs. We try to information, and then also we have other kind of features where we wanted to send it to the higher officials or something like that. So everything is straightforward, because as we said, within 6 to 7 hours of time we need to process around 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs uh, kind of a checks. This is for normal private bank, whereas if you see for public sector banks, right? Whereas we've also deployed this particular solution in SBI. So there the check volume is around 8 to 9 lakhs or 8 to 10 lakhs on an average. So the peak would be around 10 to 11 on a day where there are weekends or there is a holiday. The other day would be around more than 11 or something like that. But on an average, 8 lakhs is what they get every day. So if you see here, all are shortcuts. Like if you see the decision is accepted, then put up an A and just send A, okay. And then if it is decision is rejected, just put R, and then rejection codes will pop up here. These are all inbuilt in this particular system, and then put it up and then select the particular code and then submit it. And also other thing, when you wanted to see the signature matching has been happened correct or not, just put a click on the signature, and then a signature will populate of this check and also from the core banking on a side by side basis, so that the operations person cannot just, or the teller cannot shuffle between the multiple applications or the multiple tabs. It's just side by side and can give a proper efficient result over here. So this particular thing, right? And yeah, other features like search and all would be easy there. And one major great advantage of that particular thing is we process checks in around uh, 18 to 20 checks per second on this particular IBM server. So whereas if you see normally, right, when a manual person is trying to process it, he takes at least a minute's time to process one particular check. So you can assume how many number of people would be required to process around 88 lakhs checks per day in an 8 to 10 hours of time. So whereas this particular system with IBM AC 922, we process around 18 to 20 checks per second. Of course, we are in a process of increasing it to more, but yeah, this is in a production servers. This is what we are processing, and of course, there would be fewer errors as it's a monotonous task. Intelligent systems will perform better because everything is all kind of a one particular operation it has to do. Definitely no kind of a frauds happening. Everything is system will be deciding itself, and everything has been logged here. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, re-annotated checks. Yes. Vedant has
Dikshit,
asked a question. Yes.
yeah, Dikshit, before going to the question and answer session, do you
Yes.
have any demo on this?
Yes. I'm sorry. I just missed. So I'll just show that.
Yeah, just show the demo. That's going to be really good actually for a
Yes.
lot of people. Who are now we have nearly 67 people joined the call.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's
I'll do
very good. Yeah.
that.
Yeah, team. This is a great opportunity to build these kind of solutions in India. Actually, and it's amazing solution for banking sector. There are a lot of other sectors also we can implement using AI.
Yeah. Hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
All this banking, financials, insurance. Yep.
So I just upload one particular check randomly. So this is how the normally the check looks like with a lot of
Nice.
things. So this is all running in a normal Intel based server, which we have it over here. So that takes at least a couple of seconds. So the whole results would be displayed as a right side, which we can see like amount in words, amount in figure, which are seeing, right? So any real time, any kind of a noise, if you see 23699 kind of a equals or kind of a colon 00, still the system will able to figure it out what is the noise over there. So it can understand what exactly the customer is precisely trying to say, what it has to focus on. So those are the things over here. And also if you see amount in words, right, 23,699 rupees only. So and that post only there is a kind of a big line and all. So this is where the whole denoising and all the system will able to figure it out itself that these are not kind of a filling words only or something like that, or all filling words which has not having any significance at all. So this particular thing, and the whole API looks like this. So we just uh, project this API to the particular application or probably to any other internal thing and post this as this is the output of the AI particular output, and then post this we apply the business rules as we discussed, like if it is the amount and then conference code. Of course we are not displaying the conference code over here just for the demo purpose, but yeah, when we actually giving it, so every particular has a conference code. So yeah, signature, as we don't have an access to any kind of a API to the account core banking account system, so we just display the signature over here, that which exactly extracts from this particular ROI, and then it just puts up over here in that particular right side as a signature here. So once we have the connectivity to the core banking system, this particular snippet is what we sends it to the AI model, and then other snippet which we also take it from the core banking. So one good thing what we have also added to this particular signature authentication, right? As we also got a one question right earlier, Dr. Tipesh Swami, who's as is Shailesh, who said that thumb impressions, right? So thumb impressions and all these photographs which are already there in the core banking systems. So earlier, like if you can if I can name SBI here, right? SBI has a huge sets of data, and also the customers are already there from almost like kind of a 20, 30 years, and they're still going through the same, and they didn't manage this particular core banking in a proper way. So we had a difficult task to extract just the signature out of the n number of images. So we also build a one more new model here to detect what is signature and what is non-signature. Like there are signature, there are photographs, there are stamps, there are multiple other scanned images, etc. But overall, when you're trying to give the model, we have to give only one particular signature from the core banking system. We cannot just randomly select one thing and just say either match or mismatch. Again, that's a wrong way of processing, because ultimately we only give one chance. It's an API. We have to extract one particular image from the core banking system and then pass it. So we developed one more model over here to figure out what is signature among all these particular images. So that's where we had to cut down all the thumb impressions or whatever the to the new regulations. We had to adapt to that particular process.
Very interesting, Dikshit. Yeah, this is a kind of the leadership in in using the deep learning for the banking sector. Actually, yep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we are already live with a couple of banks here in India right now, and also we are in talks with Dubai and other country customers, because initially we started with English, and now we are also moving to vernacular languages. So that's the beauty of the deep learning, right? We just have to make sure the data is pure and clean, and then the system starts learning itself. So our CNN algorithms are so kind of a so precise to make sure that it understands. So yeah, we got another question. How does it handle signature over corrections? Usually, if you make errors while writing checks, people usually sign over that. How will the model understand and interpret that? So basically, so hi Uma. Basically, if there are any overwritings, right, that the check is itself is invalid. If you're talking about overridings, so yeah. And the other part, if the system itself is making any errors, then definitely we are here to we are asking the manual person give us all the false positives or something, where the manual and the kind of thing where we are saying non-STP and the system says it's something wrong. So all the mismatch cases, we again go through it and then process it. It's not something like automated process of making the system automatically learn. So we are not in a stage where system automatically learn, because these are all high valued processes. We does not want any kind of a risk to be taken care in the an automated process. We wanted to make sure that the system learns automatically. So we again go through all the checks wherever there's a mismatch. We see really we make a mistake. Like let's take an example where we made a mistake of 90% and then it's already right. So all these mismatches, right, we try to process again. We see that and then process it. So it's a kind of a manual effort over there, because we don't want to make sure that the model learns in a wrong way at a kind of a stage where it's already performing very well.
Sure. There are see here as we speak. There is a partner from Dubai joined the call too. He is actually part of our panelists. Uh, and Rashid Sayed is the chief product manager from GBM Dubai. And Rashid, I welcome you as a panelist. And if you are, do you want to introduce yourself and then um, raise some questions, whatever you want to
Yeah,
discuss with the presenter? Yep,
yeah.
please go ahead.
Thank you, Ganeshan. And I'm really happy to have Dikshit Marla here. He has explained very nicely this whole concept of AI for processing the checks. My name is Rashid Sayed. I'm based in out of Dubai. Uh, we, as you know, I'm handling power servers and storage. So, and here in Dubai, most of the banks' core banking is running on power servers even today. So large banks, like for example, Mashreq Bank and other banks, they are still using power servers to run core banking and all peripheral network banking system also. So I'm sure Dikshit mentioned that they are talking to Dubai, but I can also uh, see what are the other options available to reach our customers. So Dikshit, do you have, if you, I mean, I would like to get in touch with Arya.ai and see if you have any other application for banking which can be ported on Power servers, because a lot of customers are talking about, you know, after this COVID, they want to do all digitalization, move everything on the computers. So nobody wants to people to come on the bank. Now everything should be online and connected. So I would like to check with you separately if any other solution you can provide us here in Dubai and UAE, and also I can see which bank you're talking about, and then we can work together. So I'm really happy. Thank you very much for presenting this solution.
Yeah, thank you, Rashid. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And Dikshit, thank
Yes.
you for the wonderful presentation. And we can move on to the question and answer sessions. I think there are a lot of questions already coming up in the Q&A and chat window. Deepak has been addressing all of them actually. Yeah, I think he mostly addressed everything. Yep, that's good. Simultaneously, any more questions from the panelists? This is a very interesting solution, which the Arya.ai implemented in Indian banks with
Yeah,
IBM Power9 systems.
yeah, yeah. Can I?
Yep, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Myself, Dr. Tippeswamy. Yeah, very good system. I think this kind of systems are required in India. Congratulations to all of you. So, what about if any checks written in local language, how are you going to process it? Like, for example, in Hindi or Kannada or Tamil. Sometimes the rural people they don't know English. They may write in local language. How does the system accept such kind of checks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll answer that. So basically, for a deep learning based systems, right? It is all about patterns. So when I say this, when I actually give the system about English also, right? So it doesn't know it is English actually. It is all about understanding what kind of a pattern it is repeating and what is the kind of a true value it has to be assigned to that. So when I say 20, right? It is a kind of a true value which is already assigning. I'm assigning. So all in all, we are trying to say that this is the kind of a system where it is independent of any language. First, of course, we have to build a kind of a context to that. Then post that, it's all about any vernacular language can be adopted. But it has to have a kind of a quality data. So when you talk about any kind of Indian language, right? There are variations, a lot of variations. Of course, English itself has a lot of variation, but when you try to take the data from the kind of a tier one cities, there are lots of chances where we get a quality data. So we have actually started working on Hindi and Gujarati, because Gujarati is again one of the largest kind of a process checks other than Hindi. Definitely we have got a good results right now. We are still in a parallel run over there, because we wanted to make sure that all these are not automated, because we wanted to make sure that system has actually sufficient done. Of course, we have seen good results in Hindi. So same thing, the same concept we are trying to put, because as I said, it is all independent of the language, the deep learning to understand it.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor Tipuswamy. So we have some more questions in that question,
Yes,
and answer
I'll,
window.
I'll definitely go through it.
Yeah.
Yogesh has asked how insurance claims get processed. So this particular one particular, I'll tell you the use case, health claims processing. So if you have seen an advertisement in India regarding ICICI Lombard, which says they process within few seconds or within a minute of time. So that's where our RI is sitting behind that. So we get all the digitized information. So we don't process any OCRs here. So we try to take all the information what is submitted on the portal. So when a customer walks in, when a patient walks into hospital, he fills up all the he has a cashless. We call it as cashless here in India, right? He submits his requisites that showing say I am having so and so problem. I'm going to get surgery or whatever his particular ailment is all about. So all this digital information is put in the portal, and then that portal digital information is fed to Arya. So with this UHID number, or I call it as UID number or whatever, we try to extract all this database. We try to interact with the database, like insurance database. We understand what is his pre-existing diseases, what is his policy information, what are his previous claims, and all this information. As a doctor, how we process it, the same way we try to process it. So the same thing again, deep learning here, how we are trying to train the system with this particular computer vision problem, trying to give the true value data. The same way we are there also, we have given the true value data there with all the processed previous claims, like kind of a 1 year claim. So whenever a particular patient with 30 years going for a cataract operation in Apollo hospital, so this is a verdict. So with pre-existing all this, so we made the model in such a way that all the combinations have to be there, and then we made a system. So that particular system is almost like 99% accurate. So right now with majorly we are working with all the almost kind of a 4 to 5 insurance companies, where we process almost like around 60 to 70% claims, cashless claims there. So hope I have answered your question, Yogesh. So how the other questions, considering that performation and surface plus bank logo analysis is also one of the foundation way of validation. Exactly. So validation, Vedant asked about the validation. Yes, validation. MICR code is something which I've spoken, right? MICR code. That is one of the major point for validation. So there are multiple authentication checks again. When they say that MICR code plus some checksum will result as a account number. So there's account number again on this check. So when these combination APIs merge, we get a true value. Then the true value is again also presented some other place. So these are all combinations where every different have their own kind of a concepts to perform the check. Some are again putting up as a QR code, some are putting up as a barcodes. So there are still processes, but yeah, initially they used to process around MICR code plus some kind of a checksum. So is there Archism? Sorry. Archisman has asked, is there a system for enhanced and continuous ML for variation in clarity? Not yet. At least we haven't seen kind of a system where which is continuous ML or trying to find out particular thing. So we haven't seen that particular thing. So yeah, regarding about words, right? Yeah, there is no kind of a clarity as such, because many when we are trying to train the system about amount in words or amount in figures, so sometimes we have to go with the blindly, like we are assuming, saying that this is a kind of a quality data. Yes. So how do you handle checks bounce issues? Because in that case, check will be correct and it may need to be reinitiated for processing after maybe two. So all these bounce checks and all, right, which is kind of a validity or kind of an amount in words doesn't match. Wherever the system is not performing correctly in this particular 6 parameters which we discussed, that all goes into a manual bucket. So all the bounds or whatever the amount is not sufficient in the particular account holder, everything goes for the manual check itself. We never wanted to get into those tedious tasks. So Tejas has asked, how would one pull out fake sign checks? So yeah, while trying to train the system about matching, right? Because for us, matching with particular account holder, core banking system, and also with the check on the signature on the check, that's where matching is all happens. So for the counter, right, we had to create our own kind of a fake signature checks. So where we also took some kind of a historical information where they said this is kind of a signature differs or something. So those are all fake signature model for us. We created our own model which says this is a fake signature or kind of a not match signatures. Vedant says, how can we students contribute to this project? Definitely, there are these are my coordinates on the screen. You can definitely ping me. We can definitely we can see how we can collaborate and work in much more better to produce much more better systems.
Sure. Thank you. I think you addressed all the questions. Thank you for
Yes, yes.
the wonderful presentations too. And any more questions from the audience and from the panelists? I think.
Yeah, Shivaji Rao again said, yes, okay.
Favorite session.
So, yeah, I've missed responding to Rashid Syed, sir. So yes, Rashid. So definitely, we will speak again on that. It's a very great opportunity for us to combinedly work together. I would definitely contact you on a separate note, and we will discuss what all products we have. We'll definitely see where we can work together.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Yeah,
looking forward to see you.
sure, definitely, sir.
And and Shivaji Rao, you want to answer that? That
Yes, yeah, definitely. So is your system works for all types of checks? Maybe some banks have different formats of check. How will you predict or yes, as per Indian formats, NPCI has given a kind of a norm that every bank should have the same resolution. Definitely there are kind of a different ways per particular check, saying that this particular check, the resolution of the check is still same, but the only thing is the logo and different things are all in a different way. That's it. But the particular check resolution is all same. And also when you talk about the parameters of date, amount in figures and all, right? So we know that we are working with that particular bank. Let's take an example of SBI. We know the particular SBI has one fixed format. So we put those kind of a ROI to extract the particular date or amount in figures or amount in. So ROI fixing is all pre-configured, and then we process it. For the outward also we do the same thing, but yeah, we just expand our ROI and then try to extract the information. It's all pretty same checks. There's no different types of kind of a format as a check. Yeah. How secure is this system? Definitely, it's a secure system because we are doing a multiple checks here. Because authentication happens at the micer, and then authentication happens at amounts with three layered verification happening: amount in words, amount in figures, again NPCI given value, and then again signature with the core banking system. Again, putting up a lots of business rules. So definitely, a multiple layered verifications happens. Definitely a secure system, and we have been there in live with almost like 2.5 years with multiple private banks. So we haven't seen any kind of issues as of now, right now. Yeah, sometime Vasant Kumar says sometimes signature change because of age. Yes, definitely. Many banks keep persisting that they need to update the customer signature. Yeah, that is one way of for us to make sure to get the latest signature. But definitely, again, one more thing where our model tries to train the system for almost like kind of we have seen a variations of around 6 to 10 years of period. Also we try to give a perfect verdict. Of course, when I sign my signature right now, right, or if I'm giving a particular customer to sign 10 checks, the first and 10th will definitely not be same. So that's how the whole variations happen. So that's where we try to focus on the DNA of that particular check, like focusing on the edge points, focusing on a pixel density point. So that's the core concept of the signature model here. Uh, I've answered almost all the questions.
yeah, I think yeah. Let us
I have
stop
one
here.
question.
Yeah. Oh,
So I
okay.
have another question. As you responded to the student's question that there is an opportunity for collaborative work and all these things. So I am a professor at UW Platteville, University of Wisconsin Platteville. So
Okay.
what I was wondering, I mean, since you are interested in collaborating with students also, so do you have some, I mean, based on the confidentiality of the data, I mean, do you have some data or some resources that you can make open source or some coding part where we can collaborate?
Yes, that's a good point, Arya. So yes,
Mhm.
we would definitely wanted to make sure that so whatever the data what we process, right? These are all confidential information in the banks. But yeah, of course, we have also collected the data which is available in the Google and all those things. So we also perform a lot of kind of hackathons. So we try to train systems such a way that so we just want to make sure that this is the kind of a benchmark what we have received. If the same data can be something used for something like amount in words, which can be also got it from other kind of information rather from checks, also any other places also, this is a model. If you wanted to use or use our APIs, build something else. So all those things we try to do it. definitely wanted to collaborate whatever data set we have, rather only from the banking. We also have some other things where we can share, because we have an NDAs where we are not trying to showcase their private information. Yeah, we can definitely collaborate that way also.
Sure, that will be possibly a great opportunity for all the students to learn about some real world example like this banking signature matching and all these things. So possibly we can talk offline after this webinar regarding this aspect. Thanks.
Thanks, Arya. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely there are a lot of collaborative opportunities here, Professor Agya, and certainly we will have maybe offline discussions on this.
Sure.
And yeah, again, I'd like to thank the presenter, Dikshit, and his colleague. Patiently, answered most of the questions, more than like 25 questions, on this 45 minutes webinar. And, really thank you very much for your wonderful presentations too. And also, I'd like to thank panelists as well as participants who actively participated in the webinar. And looking forward to meet you all on our next webinar, AI for Enterprise at Scale, by Clarice Edgelin, the worldwide AI leader, on Monday, 21st December at 8 p.m. IST and 9:30 a.m. EST. You'll all get an invite for the webinar. And thanks again for all the collaborators. And I'm closing the webinar now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.